Mm-hmm.
Buttons have been pressed. The repercussions will not be known for some time.
Oh dear.
Hello, I'm Crash, and this is new. The working title for tonight's game is Kids Night Out.
I'm not so Crash.
Hello, and welcome to Game We're Actually Not That Grumpy. My name is Aaron Crash.
Uh-huh.
And I'm Danny.
It's way funnier if you understand who the Game Grumps are. And also, my first name is Aaron, and one of the Game Grumps' names is Aaron. But it's spelled very different. Anyway.
My name is not Danny.
No. No, you are, because it's Dan Avidan, so you'd be Ellie Ava Ellie.
Yes.
I think this works.
Or this time of year, Ely Ava Ely.
This is also true. This is also true. So tonight we're going to be playing Cypher System, and the premise is that a bunch of superpowered teenagers have decided they're going to have a night out. So they're going to sneak out of the dorm of their boarding school that they've lived in for pretty much their whole lives and have some fun. Whether or not they know how to have fun is, well, we'll find out together. Joining me tonight are a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, ElizabethMcCoy.com, buy her books, Ellie, Noel.codes, I believe, EO, whose mom writes books at ElizabethMcCoy.com.
Mm-hmm.
Buy her books.
I could plug something, but it would be fanfic.
You can plug your fanfic if you want.
I'm not sure I want. Okay.
There are two kinds of people. Those who are like, oh, read my fanfic, and others who are like, no, you don't want to read my fanfic.
I mean, you do want to read their fanfic. Their fanfic is very good, but if they don't feel like plugging it, that's different.
Yeah, it's every artist is their own worst critic, and some promote their art and others say, I'm not ready for the world to see this. And both are valid opinions to have. Which camp am I in? I'm recording this to put out there as a podcast. Just saying. Oh, and last but not least, we have Jen, bookofjen.net and shatteredsoulsoul.com.
Yep.
All right. So let's go on down the line and talk about who you'll be tonight. Beth?
I'm a capybara named Phelim. I am the school mascot. I meander around the hallways and chill out and am a support creature for all of the young supers who are at this boarding school. That's my job. They give me oranges.
The best part about this is you led with, I'm a capybara, and then you just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what else is there? Do I need to say? I'm a capybara. Done.
I added more.
Description, capybara. Species, capybara. Job, capybara. Superpower,
that is my
capybara.
Job. Pretty much.
Additional notes,
Obviously.
see above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ellie.
I think that's right, yeah.
My name is Trajectory, and I run really fast, and I hit really hard. Some people say you can't fall off the floor, and they haven't met me.
Okay, so I've noticed a problem with Cypher System. GMs can award XP for things the same way that in D&D they award inspiration for things, but inspiration is capped at 1. I have concerns.
I'm going to be tier 3 by the end of this session.
Yes. Everyone else is getting trounced by a big bad. Ellie's character's like, oh, I think I just got tier 6. Okay, guys, I got this.
I'm running circles around them. Not like I'm not outdoing them or anything. I just literally am running circles around them.
You're pretty much the Flash in that scene with Superman where those races were for charity, Clark.
Pretty much.
EO.
I am Quartz, and I am here because these are my friends, and I support my friends, and we are going to have a wonderful night out, and we are going to have a great deal of fun.
The fact that your character is made of stone makes me think that when you say you support your friends, there's more than one way to parse that, and possibly they are all correct.
They are all correct.
This recording.
And because I am very nice and I help my friends, people usually like me. Oh. And this is why Quartz is a speaker.
Quartz is the rock of the party.
Mm-hmm.
This recording is less than 10 minutes long, even if you include the various gaps and spaces and stuff. and I'm already very much enjoying this. And we haven't even gotten to Jen.
Yes. So I'm playing Xandra Storms. She's let's see. She's pretty good at combat if she needs to use it, but doesn't necessarily want to use it. She's got a bunch of different abilities. She has no idea where her parents are. She was dropped off at the school a long time ago when she was 5, so this is like her home now. And she's making friends. Ta-da!
And yay! Oh, what is this Ellie has found? Oh, is this the... Oh, you found the reference I made. Yes, those were charity, Clark. I love the ongoing thing about the Flash is like the Flash doesn't go and beat up the baddies so much. The Flash just finds a way to get them to do something else sometime.
Got me again, Flash.
Exactly. A very different rogues gallery.
Yeah.
I really like that. But with that said, the first question to ask is, was it a communal decision to go out and have a good time, or did somebody say, hey, I have an idea?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Yes.
Let's
Hmm.
go have a good time.
Philum sits and looks expectant.
How are we going to go and have a good time? Are we going to climb out the window, or are we going to, like, what are we doing?
I
Actually,
do not believe I will fit.
Oh, good point. Okay.
where is our dorm room?
That's an excellent question. Where would your dorm room be?
And are you all three sharing it? Or, I mean, I'm the school mascot. I go wherever.
Yeah.
It is. I would argue it's quite possible that you have different rooms. You might have a roommate, but
Okay,
there's
the common room.
yeah.
Okay.
Or you are gathered in one person's dorm room because that's what you do in off hours.
I do not sleep. Therefore, if my friends wish to come to my dorm room, that is always fine.
The bed in Quartz's dorm room has just been replaced with a very sturdy chair.
Yes. I asked.
It is also on the ground floor.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So
are
that
most of-
others can sleep.
Yes.
Thump would be a bit of a problem, yes.
Also, coincidentally, most of Quartz's classes are on the ground floor, even if the teacher has to move quite some distance from one class to the next to teach Quartz's class on the ground floor. Or occasionally a sub-basement.
Those must be some sturdy stairs.
There's a ramp.
It's hopefully sturdy.
Well, it's sturdier now.
After they rebuilt it.
We will rebuild this ramp. It will be stronger, able to withstand a student.
We have the technology. We can rebuild it. Better, stronger, not faster.
It looks like you just sort of like filled it in with granite. Again, yes.
We said what we said.
And we meant what we meant.
Mm-hmm.
Are we, in fact, locked in?
There's probably a curfew.
Locked in would not probably be the appropriate term, but there are school rules about going off grounds without an adult person going with you, because none of you is considered a legal adult yet.
I'm a capybara.
You're a teenage capybara.
Probably. But also capybara.
Are
Possibly
you a
mutant?
teenage mutant ninja capybara is the question.
Just gonna look at you.
Well, if you don't include the ninja
Mutant,
part, it does track with the song.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't do the ninja part, it's who knows.
Teenage mutant
knows?
capybara.
That works.
Or if you shorten it to Cappy.
You are getting the look of disapproval.
Oh, no.
The capybara judges you.
Mascot with an orange citrus power.
Well, if we go somewhere, we're going to need to borrow one of the super heavy duty trucks.
We could walk. I'm
Really,
not very
Thomas?
good at driving.
We can argue that because you are super powered teenagers at a boarding school, that there is some degree of either X-Men vibes or Umbrella Academy vibes, and you have received some training in how to maneuver a vehicle that is perhaps designed to support the weight of various team members who are perhaps Well, we could say that Quartz lives a sedentary lifestyle.
I think
Sedentary
we will.
or sedimentary?
Sedimentary.
Yes.
Yes. Except that it's quartz, which is not a sedimentary rock.
No, it's igneous.
Yes. So that is an option that you could attempt to do. You could also attempt to walk. You would have to navigate around possible security cameras, depending on whether or not they have someone on the other end watching monitors at the time, or possibly people who it's their turn to stay up late and make sure no kids are sneaking off to do things.
Yeah.
Can I spend an XP to know where the blind spots are?
Let me look at your character sheet. So I will not allow you to just spend an XP to know where the blind spots are, but you do have an ability called Danger Sense,
I do.
which is technically supposed to be for initiative tasks. However,
Yes.
this is a Cypher system. And if there is one rule about Cypher system that isn't universal to, well, it is kind of useful to things. Well, the rules are guidelines. And if the GM wants to modify something, the GM can modify it. I believe that's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Thank you.
In most of
I heard that chuckle. Also, I don't believe
Isn't
I'm
it
wrong.
in most things?
Yes, exactly.
Well, no.
It's great because when that's in a rule book, rules lawyers don't like when you point that one out, really. But if I ignore the rules, then it makes it less fun. But what if you ignore this rule? Oh. Anyway, I would allow you to make an intellect roll to determine where blind spots are as you are heading out. And XP can be used for reroll. I'm going to say this is going to be a difficulty 3 task. Oh my gosh, Ellie. Did you just make that?
Yes. There's a generator.
Capybara in a trench coat.
But Phelim doesn't wear a trench coat.
Our loss.
That's because
We are
he'd
all
need to get-
lesser because of this.
yes, he would need 2 more capybaras to be in trench coat with him or her.
Um,
Phelim
is
does
this
not care.
eased? Or is this eased because of the danger sense, or is it possible because of the danger sense?
I will say it is eased to 3 because of the danger sense.
Eased to 3. Okay.
All right. Well, with a 12, I think we're good. That would have beaten it if it wasn't eased. So, wonderful. You are able to spot the cameras and realize which ones are actually just a plastic housing with an LED connected to a battery and which ones are actual cameras. And, oh, look, this one turns left and right and left and right. So if we time it right now, we can go underneath it and no one will be the wiser. Quartz.
Phelim just plods along. It doesn't. A capybara goes where it will.
Yes. And also, you're the mascot. You have the run of the grounds. So far as you assert, anyway. So they see you on the grounds frequently and you don't tend to want to wander off the ground. So it's like, that's okay. But Quartz, you are made of rock.
Yes.
And as a being made of rock, you do have the hindrance that you move more stiffly.
This is
So-
accurate.
I am going to ask you to make a speed roll, difficulty 2, to get past the camera that's moving. It's been pointed out to you, which is why it's only difficulty 2, but you do have to move at a steady pace to get through the camera's blind spot before the blind spot isn't there anymore.
All right. Let's see.
And that is a 5. So
Can I spend an XP to let Quartz reroll?
I would allow that, or Quartz could spend their own XP.
I'll get it back.
I want to disagree with you, but I'd be lying.
I'll try not to fail this one.
And that's an 11. That would be difficulty 3. Therefore, yes, you do get under the camera. I will burn off these XP if it kills me. Or your characters. It might kill your characters.
Well,
I would like to imagine that trajectory sort of made a very quick adjustment to the camera's current facing.
That or a quick adjustment to quartz.
Also
Like-
possible.
Have you ever seen one of those time lapses where somebody is making a stop motion animation? The last one I saw was of Coraline, where you sort of see the animator as a blur moving the stop motion character. That blur is trajectory, and Quartz is just slowly plodding along. All right. So the question is, which way were you heading? Were you heading to the car park, or were you heading towards freedom?
Trajectory is going to head toward the car park, unless someone tells her different.
Sounds like the car park sounds like a good idea. Let's go to the car park.
Let's go
Okay.
to the car. No, wait.
Okay. In the name of not being redundant, I am going to take these rolls for avoiding blind spots as, okay, well, that was for all of it. Otherwise, it's, okay, roll again, roll again, roll again. That'd be a little too much.
Alrighty.
And yes, Ellie, this is
Yeah.
another example of exactly what I was talking about, which is so neat that how they do this.
Oh, wow.
Also, it is very time consuming. My
Yes.
students come to me in 6th grade and like, I want to be an animator. And by the time they're in 8th grade, it is a much smaller percentage of them who are like, I want to be an animator.
I no longer want to be an animator.
At this point, I have realized that pointing a camera at somebody and having them act is way faster.
You don't want to be an animator, kid. You want to be a storyboard artist.
There you go.
Oh no, they hate storyboarding. They have the
Really?
whole idea in their head. They don't need to put it on paper. I let you in the hallway to film. You spent 15 of the 10 minutes I gave you arguing with the people who were in the hallway to be your cast members about what they were supposed to do. Get back
Whoops.
in here and make your storyboard.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on and not talking about my struggles as a digital media arts teacher. It's fine. I don't get the grade. They do. And now most of my students are doing very well. Thank you very much.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I love what I do, and they love that they get to do it. But moving forward, or crab walking sideways, whichever way you are going into the car park, that is the way you have traveled into the car park. One of you going into the car park, possibly running out of the car park again to say what's taking so long. They're running back in the car park. They're running back out again to see that you've been doing this fast enough that they have all taken one step since the last time you checked. One of you,
This is why
Walking
we're
there.
not walking.
one of you strolling in like you own the place.
That would be Capybara.
Yes.
That would be Phelan.
And
Hmm.
one of
They
you
do own the
getting
place.
there eventually.
I am trying to be very quiet, and this means
And it's appreciated.
being very slow.
Understandable.
And one of you who may or may not have purple hair, I don't quite have a read on how you would be entering the car park.
She's probably going to just sort of run there.
Okay.
I
So-
have learned what happens when I attempt to run.
Thumb, 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 thumb.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time replacing that building.
Mhm.
It was attributed to
It
a
was
localized
mostly
earthquake.
the floor.
The new floor is much nicer.
Sorry, Crash?
So you have made it
I
to the
will-
car park. Jess?
Yes. I will borrow the keys to one of the super heavy duty pickup trucks and offer them to Keelan.
Here's the question. Where are the keys?
Are they hanging on a pegboard?
I assume hanging on a pegboard.
Okay. Because
They may not be.
listeners, because your listeners, this is a one shot with very little prep. I am relying in part on the players to build this world.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yes.
Cheating.
You're doing most of my work for me.
Yeah. And yet
Therefore,
when I
most
ask
of
you
the
to do
work-
that in Plus Ultra,
Old Rob told a story.
Old Rob does that.
and that
Yes.
counts, darn it.
Dang it, you said you'd get your X feedback.
Took me 5 minutes.
I'm not giving you a second one this quickly.
Don't you wish we were playing
Work this
D&D?
with me. No, because these characters would not be creatable in
Yeah.
D&D.
This is better.
Mhm.
There's
Um,
ways to house rule things to do modern D&D, and I've seen it done well. However,
Yeah, I assume this is one of those places where, like, they drill it into you that if you don't know how to drive the car, you shouldn't take the car. And if you know how to drive the car, they trust you to take the car. And if it's too late for you to be taking the car, they trust you to be in your room. And it has not occurred to them that someone might sneak out. and take a car, which is why there is a second group of students taking a car at the same time.
And you're offering the keys to Phelim. Phelim?
They don't have a rock golem, so they're taking one of the fast cars. We're taking the super heavy duty pickup truck. We're taking the Toyota Hilux.
Now I need to do a image search for what that is.
The Toyota Hilux is a standard Toyota pickup truck,
Ah,
but the Hilux is specifically the European name for it, and the one marketed in the 80s and 90s is famous for being indestructible.
I am going to say that the Toyota Hilux that is here, and there's a row of Toyota Hilux, and what they have going for them is they all have a cap on the back of it, so that someone who might not fit in the extended cab might still be able to sit somewhere and not have everyone pointing at them like they are afloat in a parade. Sir, you appear to have lost all of your cinder blocks, like all of them.
Was that intentional?
Yes. The point of that video is how badly can we trash this truck and still have it go. And
That's
it's a
how
response to, that video is a response to someone saying that the Cybertruck is heavy duty.
So
Let's see
having
if
to go that
Cybertruck did
fast
this.
with all those cinder blocks and the tailgate down looks not to be the way to trash that truck. It looks to be the way to trash the chase vehicle that is recording that truck, because
That's why it's off to the
random
side.
bouncing.
Yeah.
I do not trust them being off to the side and behind. I would not trust them to be in front of that.
This is the shock absorber test.
That's
I still would not want to be near this vehicle.
Behind that truck, yes.
Those
That's a
cinder
lot of
blocks
cinder blocks.
they are airborne.
Crash is mildly traumatized watching that. I can tell.
That's probably slightly better shock absorption than what you get in a Jeep. Some people will say that Jeeps have horrible shock absorption, but true connoisseurs know they don't have any.
Oh dear.
So, yes, I'm offering the keys to Phelim.
Phelim will take the keys and pad along to the appropriate truck, which is hopefully one that is set up for people who perhaps normally drive with like a wheelchair or something and do not need to use their feet because they are a capybara.
You're
Okay.
used to this particular one. You've used it before. It actually has 5 pillows on the driver's seat.
I mean, that's where you take a nice little nap and such. Yeah. I mean, unless
That's-
somebody actually,
Usually when you're seen on camera walking to this car park, that's why you're walking to this car park.
to get my nap. And now I will put the key in the thing and put my little paws up on the wheel and use a foot to, kick it into neutral and wait for everybody to get in.
Who is
Oh.
calling shotgun?
Whoever wants it.
I was going
You
to.
guys can fight over it. I'll race you.
Okay.
The capybara waits for people to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you should get in the back, Quartz, because that will center your mass and we will not list too much.
That seems like the best idea.
Use paw and foot to operate the things on the dash to take off the parking brake, put it in first, pay attention to the backup camera because, come on, this has got to have a backup camera. Back up, turn around, and let's trundle off, shall we? Are there any rolls I should be making for this?
The GM is considering. Also, I imagine that with Quartz in the back of this truck, trundle is perhaps the appropriate verbiage
I mean,
for how it backs up. Also, the fact that it's being driven by a capybara.
yeah.
So it backs up. There's a little bit of unevenness because the wheels settled down from the weight and they haven't fully adjusted. So there's one side that's a little flat compared to the rest of them.
Wobble, wobble.
Yes.
These are
So it
things that a
trundles backwards.
capybara puts up. Yep.
Let's see. Let's take a look at your character sheet. Well, we will not be using
Dexterity?
your proficiency in weapons for this particular roll. For a second, I forgot that power shifts were on your character sheets. So I saw Trajectory make a roll that was eased by 3 steps, and I was like, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that tracks. Running actions.
Zoom.
And you still rolled a 1. Well, you beat difficulty 1.
Oof.
You rolled a 4.
It's true.
Well, considering the weight of this truck and the fact that you are attempting to leave a car park, I am not going to say that Trajectory needs to run very fast to keep up with the truck right now.
Wait till we get on the highway.
Perhaps if Trajectory was behind the wheel, Trajectory would have to be running to keep up, but also Trajectory would not be racing to catch up because Trajectory was right there. Unless you are attempting to run alongside it, then jump in, hit the gas, and then run alongside it again after you jump back out again, which might
That's
be
what cruise
why
control is for.
which might be why you thought it was a good idea to hand the keys to Falim, because this has been attempted in the past, and you might be sneaking out late at night, but you're not doing that. There were people who were cross.
The car crashed
You leave the GM out of
into
this.
me.
I will laugh at both of you.
Well,
The capybara is driving. And what do I have to roll for this?
the car crashed into Quartz. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Except the car.
The car wasn't a person. It was totaled.
Alas.
Yes.
The poor car.
However, you got a perfect impression of Quartz in the front of the car that could be used for casting purposes.
Oh my.
And I'm going to say this is going to be a speed roll difficulty 2. Not because necessarily you're going fast, but this is reflexes. Well, with a 19.
19? Phelan
that-
drives much better than Toonces. Thank you.
Yes. Well, that beats difficulty 6. And also, according to my cheat sheet here, you get plus 3 damage.
I'm not hitting anything with the car yet.
I appreciate the word yet. The night is young.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You also get a minor effect that you can use instead of that. So damage an object, distract, knock back, move past, strike a specific body part. I'm going to propose distract. And here's what I'm going to suggest we have happen. It's not so
Okay.
much that you are driving in a particular way that distracts everyone else. It's that you are driving specifically to distance yourself from the other group of superpowered teenagers who are escaping. And by escaping, I mean
will be?
they are going out for the evening. They feel like they're escaping in the sports car.
That's what they can do, and I will just drive in a nice, professional, adult fashion.
Yes. They, however, are driving like a bunch of teenagers who had the keys to a sports car. The wheels, for the entire time they have been in motion, have perhaps been thinking that they were on a road that was moving faster than the vehicle was moving. There is the constant sound of squealing rubber. There are black tread marks on this freshly repaired flooring. This might actually be where Quartz tried running. And cameras that you didn't know had motors in them are all turning to look at this car as it heads out.
They had to learn to drive stick, right?
I mean, they better have learned how, but,
The
you know,
4
Phelan's
is
just sort of
faster, so
shrug.
they went to 4.
No. Phelan just sort of goes and shakes their head and drives.
That's how it works. The highest number is fastest. They wanted to go fast. They put it on the highest number.
That's why when you're in a car with an automatic shift, you put it on 2. It's the highest number on the shifter.
I will not laugh. I am strong with the force. Force is with me. Even though you just pretty much yes-and my joke. But yes, absolutely. Also, they don't know what that middle pedal is. There's the gas and the brake. The middle one is like a second brake. Well, anyway, they don't need that.
That was a great. So one of the other YouTube channels that I like watching is Tom Scott's trivia podcast channel.
Lateral?
And yeah,
Yeah.
and
The podcast is great.
one of my favorite trivia questions was, You encounter a device labeled Perndle. Where are you?
In a car.
Mhm.
Yes. It's the gear shift.
Park perverse.
Park reverse neutral drive low.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember that one. I'm sure
It's a couple months ago, yeah.
Oh, I've been listening for more than just a couple months. So I know I've listened to that one.
Yeah.
And I have no memory of that. But that's great. Or was that one of his opening ones where he asked the question and then did he give the answer at the very end?
I don't think so. I think it's on one of the videos on YouTube because that's how I get it.
Okay.
I get the individual ones on YouTube.
Maybe that didn't make it
Anyway.
into the edited podcast.
Oh, maybe.
It's possible. Anyway, so now you are out for a wild night on the town, driving exactly 5 miles under the speed limit in a residential area.
No, if you drive 5 miles under the speed limit in a residential area, then that makes people wonder if you're drunk. You have to drive the speed limit or like a mile or two above it.
Okay. Well, then that is what you are doing.
Yep.
Properly using a turn signal, stopping at all intersections and looking both ways.
Only if there's a stop sign. If there's not a stop sign, then you have to go through the intersection appropriately because you have the right of way.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Someone was paying attention while all those driving instructions were happening, and they were riding in the back seat watching.
So here is the next question. Where are you going?
Somewhere fun. And for this, I am going to do find the way. I can apply a free level of effort. Let's see, what is that, an intellect?
Find
If I
the
apply
way.
to, yes.
When you apply effort to a navigation task because you don't know the way, or are lost, are attempting to blaze a new route, need to choose between two or more otherwise similar paths to take, or something very similar, you can apply a free level of effort. Enabler. Granted from Explorer.
Dash editor.
Excelsior!
Let's see if I
I see Crash picked up what I was putting down.
tried to roll that.
So
What does it say?
this means if you roll well, you're definitely going to find what you're looking for. The question is, what are you looking for? You just said someplace fun.
It's got to be open at whatever time of day this is, which is presumably after curfew, so it's probably in the evening. It's got to not card us because we do not have identification drinks, and it's got to be entertainment. I mean, if there's an all-night water park around for something, I feel like feeling would go for the all-night water park, capybara reasons, but
Bowling? We could go bowling.
I promise not to adjust the ball as it rolls.
it's entirely possible that Phelim is mostly heading, quote, into town.
The GM acknowledges Ellie's favorite thing about all of this is that the keys were offered to Phelim as a courtesy, and she was not expecting the capybara to take the keys. I know that was written in chat. I don't care. It must be acknowledged because it is glorious. It is golden. I am here for this content. So we need
So we're going
a
bowling?
find the way roll. Give me
Yep.
a roll.
Way wrong.
Okay. That's the wrong ability that I
Yeah,
clicked
it's
there. Just
this
a
is
moment.
for Phelim because Phelim's driving.
Got it.
Okay. Will that roll? How do I make that roll? If I do that, will that make it roll?
Just roll a d20. It'll be fine.
Okay. No,
All right.
no, it will not
You rolled
be
a
fine.
3.
Can I? What do I do to?
I will lend Phelim an XP so that they can reroll.
Well, also, because of Find the Way, you get a free level of effort. So that would
Right.
be
That's
the
true.
difficulty 2 task without modifiers. And one could argue that because this is the town that you live in, and you are the trusty capybara who is in vehicles enough that you have your 5 pillows are in here.
Yep.
That difficulty 2 is not unheard of. It's weird because we're used to D&D where the numbers stay the same, but you have bonuses that you add to your rolls. In this case, difficulty 2 is standard.
Oh, so if
It's
this
not
is,
even-
if this is a standard, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, routine is 0, 1 is simple, 2 is standard, 3 is when you start getting too demanding.
And so with the free level of effort, that turns into something that will pass a level 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because effort would change the difficulty by 1. So you have managed to find Bob's Bowling and Water Park.
Perfect. Phelan pulls in.
Is there mini golf too?
The mini golf is currently under renovation. There's some orange and black tape going around things that look like nothing's been touched for a very long time. The paint has been peeling off for a very long time. Yeah.
I just wanted there to be mini golf.
There is a mini golf. Let's call it an exhibit. It is not actually playable mini golf. The water hazards are not turned on. The windmill is moving, but not in a way that windmills should move.
When I was a teenager, there was it wasn't even a complex. It was just all one big building near me. It was called Sports, but it had the biggest arcade in town, an indoor mini golf course, and batting cages, and basketball hoops. It was
basketball hoops. Oh boy.
And this was in the 90s, and I could just I could take $20 and go in and have the day of my life and come out 8 hours later and have burned off all of my energy as a teenager. Anyway, I, the player, like mini golf. I think Trajectory probably doesn't.
Okay. Yep.
So the sign outside Bob's Bowling and Water Park says new mini golf coming in 2020. That's crossed out. 2021 crossed out. 2024 crossed out. Soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phelan is ambling over and ducking under the tape and contemplating one of the water hazards as whether it is a suitable place for a capybara to just sort of sit and chill out.
They've been
Or is the
drained.
water too cold? They've been drained.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
There is a water
Oh,
park.
well.
The slides are temporarily out of order. They do open them up during the day, but they turn off during the day, kids come here and they turn all the water slides and stuff on. During the evening, that's when the bowling picks up with the more adult connoisseurs of the sport, and drinks are more readily provided, and they found that their insurance goes down if they don't have the slides operational at that hour.
Point.
That tracks.
Phelan will just follow everyone else in and vaguely maybe pizza will happen or something.
All right. As soon as you go through the front door, you are immediately assailed by the smell of Little Caesars quality pizza, stale tobacco smoke, spilled beer, and whatever they use to polish the bowling alley floors. Oh, and that antibacterial spray that they use on the rental shoes. It is a very unique smell that to this day I can probably identify.
Oh no.
Kelly bowled competitively. She had trophies.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Had her own ball and everything. Well, multiple balls.
Oh nice.
And her own shoes. She didn't need the rentals. I know this smell. Anyway, let's change the...
Yep.
There are, in fact, several lanes that are in use right now. I wouldn't say it's crowded. It's not a large town. It's amazing that they actually have a school for superpowered teenagers here. But there's a few lanes that are open. There's a few lanes that have people at them. There is somebody who is at a front counter near where the front door is, who has a cigarette that you're fairly certain they have some type of superpower, because that or is just stuck to their lip. There doesn't seem to be anything holding it in place, but it's touching their lip. You here to bowl?
Yep.
Yes.
$5 per person, $25 for a group, $40 if you're renting shoes.
We are
Per
a
person?
small group, so it is cheaper if we are per person.
Here is the GM intrusion. How do you pay for bowling? This is going to be a group intrusion, which means you're all going to get 1 XP for this.
Okay.
Gasp.
Gasp.
Cypher system as written, you're supposed to throw intrusions left and right like crazy.
Yeah.
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 It means that you don't level up slowly. So if you're running a campaign where the goal is to have the characters slowly build up, Cypher system might not be for you unless you're house ruling something. Ellie changed it for her game, and it works very well for her game. But this is a one-shot, dag nabbit. I'm throwing intrusions.
Okay.
So, how are you defeating my pay for bowling boss?
What does he look like?
Well, he's a little thick around the middle. He's a little thin up top. There's graying a little bit on the sides. It looks like he might be trying to grow a mustache and may have been trying to grow a mustache for the past 30 years.
Okay.
The rest of it is stubble, but not enough stubble that if he leaves it, it'll be a beard.
Ah. Okay. You remind me of one of my relatives.
Is that so?
Yeah. Looks just like him.
Well, in that case, $25 for a group, $40 if you're renting shoes.
See what else I can come up with.
1 second. I couldn't resist the joke, so I had to say it.
Okay.
Do they actually remind you of a relative? I don't remember Xander's backstory because I know this is a character that has been reinvented for this game that you've played before.
Right. Yeah. It's similar enough. Yeah. So she's going to say she has an uncle named Bobby, which actually tracks with the actual character originally. And she's just trying to like whittle down this man's attention so that we can actually go bowling. You know?
I can tell you that I, the GM, have thought of ways that 2 of the characters in this party right now would be able to take care of this situation depending on
I
the
do
character's
not
ethics.
have my wallet with me right this moment.
And
but
a third way that doesn't involve ethics.
perhaps I could leave this with you. I'm assuming we have some sort of school ID.
Oh, yeah.
And so
You do in fact have a school ID that has a little RFID chip in it that lets you go into things like the cafeteria and stuff, and you have an allotment for purchasing meals and stuff that's on there. It's not a credit card, but on campus it can act like a credit card and library card.
And so if we do not return to pay, then you will be able to call and get us into trouble, which we would not want. I don't know if I should be rolling, but apparently I'm rolling.
And apparently you're rolling a nat 20.
Yep.
My goodness. I was just going to spend that XP.
Oh,
The person behind the counter picks it up and goes, "Oh, yeah, ID is good collateral." They put it
Thank
under the
you.
counter. "What size shoes do you wear?"
Quartz looks down.
my.
This is a group question.
10.5 for me. I'm going to go get a pizza and some pretzels. I'm still going to spend that XP.
Sandra's gonna say she's a size 8.
All right,
See
you
what
are
he hands
handed
over.
a size 8 pair of bowling shoes.
All right.
They look exactly how you remember bowling shoes look. But I once went to a team building event that involved bowling with Discovery Education, which is owned by Discovery Channel. And one member of the group forgot that he was wearing bowling shoes. And we came back to the hotel and he was still wearing them, which
no.
means
Oh, no.
his actual shoes were still there.
Oops.
I love that bowling shoes look the way they do
I kind of do too.
because I don't love the look of bowling shoes. I mean, I kind of do, but I love because bowling shoes look the way they do so that no one will want to steal them.
And there's an aesthetic to them. There is a strong
Yeah.
aesthetic to them. Where they are so atrocious that the zero-signed integer comes back around
Yeah, it rolls around.
like a bowling ball.
Yep.
Coming back through the ball return. Now, Ellie, you said you were still spending an XP. What are you spending the XP on?
Timpani is going to yell at me when he finds out that all the cash is gone from his wallet.
Who is going to yell at you?
Timpani, sound-based superhero. You're younger than
Penny, of course.
You know what? I'm not going to say this is precedent setting, but I'm going to allow that. So yes. Fun fact, another solution would be I would have also accepted Well, the vehicles, don't they have like an emergency, like, if I was running the school, I would have an emergency cash thing, like petty cash drawer in each vehicle just in case for like filling the tank or something. A surprisingly large number of superhero outfits don't include pockets. And Ellie, you were saying about Timpani.
Yeah, but Timpani comes from a wealthy family. He's not really going to miss it. And also, I can just hit up an ATM on the way back.
Okay. So how many pizzas do you buy?
Oh, my.
2. I mean, it's just 3 of us plus me. And everybody knows about my metabolism.
Yep, that's for sure.
Okay. You find a spot where there are 2 tables that have been pushed together, because the tables at the bowling alley are not incredibly large. You could fit 4 people around them with a drink for each. But if you've got 2 pizzas, you need 2 tables.
Yeah. 2 pizzas and pretzels and drinks.
Okay.
The drinks are at the very corners of these square tables where they can just barely fit thanks to the size of the pizza. Because while they do appear to be cheese substitute plastered to cardboard with some type of tomato-based paste, they are quite large.
The portions are good, as opposed to the food is terrible and the portions are tiny.
The food is as terrible as is expected and required for a bowling alley. And the portions are generous.
And before the supervillain shows up, can we take a quick break?
Certainly. I'll hit the pause button in 3, 2, 3, and we're back.
And that's when they said, "Oh, we're back." All right, I can't tell that story.
When I'm counting down for my students, sometimes I'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all yell at me that I'm doing it wrong. These are my youngest students, my kindergarten to 2nd grade students. And I'll say, "What? No, I'll count again." I do it again. They yell at me some more. And I say, "Are you going to tell me, seriously, that 3 does not come after 2? And after that, the responses get a little mixed.
I mean, it all depends on if you're counting up or counting down.
Exactly. And some of them understand that and realize it's funny. And some of them know that I am wrong, but can't actually structurally figure out how to word that I am wrong. It is the school kindergarten equivalent of "not now, someone on the internet is wrong." And that was a roll that I saw. A hindered roll. What was Trajectory trying to do?
Trajectory was seeing the difficulty I beat is the number of frames it takes before I fall over. Because I am hindered on balance test.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Wait, the number of frames of bowling?
Yes.
You didn't rent shoes.
Yes, I did. I said I was a size 10 and a half.
Oh, I'm
She
blanking
said it
on
very
that.
quickly.
You said it very quickly and then said you were going to get pizza and pretzels and soda.
Yes.
And
You said
I
so
only
quickly the
registered the pizza
GM
and
lost
pretzels and
track.
soda. Yes.
Well done.
I will yes and to this and say that the person by the counter, who is not actually Bob, by the way,
Right.
possibly a relative, or maybe just that guy who's just always worked here since before it was Bob's Bowling. It was under a different name. So everyone just assumes he works here, but whatever. Didn't actually hear the shoe
They
size.
pay me.
Didn't actually hear the shoe size, but at some point he's holding up the right size to hand to somebody else, and suddenly the shoes are not in his hand anymore.
Yeah, that tracks.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But the air conditioning in this place is great.
The
Feel like you've got a fan pointed right at you.
the haze of cigarette smoke. There aren't that many people smoking. It just seems to be a permanent haze. There is the silhouette of Trajectory everywhere throughout the bowling alley in this haze. It's like a tunnel you can walk through. It does start to close up after a while, and then Trajectory goes through it again.
Because there's not cigarette smoke there.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. It's a good strategy. Not even a bold strategy, just a solid one, unlike the smoke.
Also, achievement earned, I want to say. Playing a speedster character and saying something in character so fast that the GM misses it.
Yes.
Yes.
Achievement earned.
Congratulations. So, Quartz, Does your character have regular feet, or are they more like elephantine feet, or are they something else?
They're sort of a mix. It's not full-on stompers, but their feet are very heavy and flat and square.
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt. You've reminded me of something that I wanted to talk about. This is very brief, I promise. So I use a personal development and accountability app called Finch, and it basically involves, you assign yourself tasks for every day, like, step outside and take a shower, and stuff that, you should be doing, and you need little rewards to do it. And they have monthly events, and on day 20 of the event, or on the 20th day that you complete all your goals, the reward is a micro pet that walks around with your character.
Neat.
And your micro pet, after 15 days of walking around with your character, goes from baby to adult. And they name each micro pet has a name, but also their age category, baby or adult, it's put before their name. And most of the time, this is fine.
Shark.
But this is dinosaur month, and the micro pet is a brontosaurus. And so actually today, was the 20th. And so I have been keeping up to date. And so I got my micro pet today. Imagine my dismay when I received Baby Stomper, the brontosaurus.
Oh, no.
Phrasing.
Anyway, that's what you reminded me of, Io.
This is why we need quality control testing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just one person to ask, but what if? So thank you, Ellie, for this story that will haunt my nightmares. You have provided a valuable service, and the GM heard that. The GM awards himself 1 XP. Quartz.
Excellent.
Yes. I'm not going to level up as fast as you are in Plus Ultra, but it's happening. Quartz is handed the largest shoes they have available. There might, in fact, be some layer of dust on them that isn't so much brushed off as it is. They just get an additional spray of the antimicrobial thing they spray in the rental shoes to dust it off with compressed air or whatever it is in that canister. It's size 32 wide.
Ah, hopefully these will fit me. Most shoes cannot. It
It's a
would be
little
very
loose.
nice if Quartz is overjoyed. You can tell that they are making their overjoyed face because it is exactly the same as nearly every other face they make.
One with the force is with me. I will not award a 4th XP to a character this early in a session.
Not early, we passed the break.
Yeah, but it's still the first session. 4 XP, you get to check something off and like boost up a stat or something. So it's a good thing that you're overjoyed by this, because they actually don't have any sizes that are anywhere close to this. The next size down is a size 22. But apparently they had one regular who had feet that were relatively large like this. That order was ordered as a joke. It could have been a joke shoe. Bowling shoes look like a joke shoe. So, that might be a thing.
It could be, given the number of metahumans in this town,
Someone was
that said
playing it.
regular may have been
Yeah.
some variety of superhuman.
This is not canon, but imagine, if you will, as soon as you walk out of hearing distance, someone comes up and says, "Well, hello, I'm Klutzy the Clown. Do you have shoes in my size? I take a 32 wide."
Oops.
Oh, no.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hear sad clown music playing as they just walk outside into the rain because they didn't have their own bowling shoes. I already stated this is not canon.
Mm-hmm.
So far as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I have not,
Right.
so far as you know, I have not introduced the big bad of this campaign and their origin story.
Dun,
The
dun,
nicest
dun.
character ever is the reason that they must seek revenge. We're not
Oops.
doing that.
Okay.
It'd be funny, but we're not doing that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So Sandra's going to ask for a size 8 shoe, and
Oh, yeah.
go with that.
They've got that.
Okay.
All right. It's a little narrow around the toes.
That's fine.
Okay. So by the time the rest of you get over to your lane that you have rented for a game, Trajectory is on frame 5 and also splayed out just past the marker where if you go past it, the ball doesn't count.
Oops.
Because somebody rolled for balance and got...
It's a strike, too.
You had hit the wood before you saw the ball perfectly hit that first pin in a way where it got a backspin on it and took out half of the pins by itself. It was perfect. And all you heard was a eh.
I got to remember how to do that like a step earlier. So who wants pizza?
The capybara raises a paw.
Yeah. Pizza be good.
Half of one of the pizzas is already gone. And Trajectory is on her second soda.
I mean, you gotta power that metabolism like a little hummingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Question, is your soda caffeine free?
No.
The GM will remember this.
Okay.
Trajectory drinks water that's caffeinated.
It's a vital vitamin for speedsters, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I consider it a personal triumph. I rolled a natural 20 on a constitution save because when you made that comment about water, I was drinking my tea.
Oh, wow.
And I continue
Sorry.
to drink my tea and not breathe it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So one of the things that Xandra has is trained in all actions involving lifting and throwing things, and that sounds like bowling. So she's going to try
Yes.
to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is definitely a thing you can do. Make a speed roll to bowl.
Okay. Let me see if I can find the character sheet. There's the character sheet. Do I roll just the dice on the character sheet for that, or?
So here's what we're going to do. If you go to where it says trained in all actions involving lifting and throwing things,
Yes.
there, if you go across just past the green text where it says trained, there is a little dice icon and you can click on that.
Okay. Let's do it.
And don't change anything in that pop-up. Just look at the
Okay.
bottom where it says roll and click roll.
Okay, clicking roll. And
And with a
16?
9, I'm going to say you got a split.
okay. I don't know where that ended up. There it is. Okay. Yeah, okay, so she did that. Now she's happy. Now she's going to eat pizza.
It's pizza time.
Mm-hmm.
The capybara is not playing.
Oh, I was going to say the capybara is like nudges the ball forward with its nose and is somehow a 297 bowler.
I mean, that's also possible. Should I make a roll?
Yeah.
No, wait,
imagine
you
if
can't
will.
be a
The
297
capybara.
bowler.
Imagine if you will.
You can't be a 297 bowler.
I have no idea what bowling does, so you know.
I know a perfect
Okay,
game
so
is
you-
300, and everything else about bowling scores is some type of black mystical art where I cannot fathom how to put the numbers together. Don't tell me it will seep through my head like water through a sieve. It's been attempted by my wife
The
many times.
the thing that you need to know is that you multiply your score for a strike. And since the best possible, and you multiply your score for multiple strikes in a row. And since the best possible score is 300, you can't get down to 297 without having missed at least one strike. And so you would be way below 290. You would be down at like 270.
I want everyone to picture an image of a capybara wearing bowling shoes on the hind feet, but the front feet
Yes.
have little 80s
Bowling
style
gloves.
fingerless bowling gloves. Yes.
And it's still nudging the ball along with its nose.
Well, there's the
Yep.
aesthetic, and then there's what you can do. And with the
Yep.
3, you've knocked
Not so
down
great.
2 pins on the corner.
That's fine. Phelan will go and munch on the pizza. That's what they're there for in the first place, really. The bowling is just sort of a thing that you do to earn your pizza.
And I am aware that you do, in fact, get 2 attempts to knock all the pins down. I'm saying after the second attempt, this is how many there are left for each of your rolls. Because I'm not making you roll twice. Also, somebody already rolled 5 or 6 frames before you got here.
Right.
Oh, I'll reset it as soon as everybody else gets here. I was just having fun before.
I will throw the ball next.
This is also old school bowling, so you don't have a TV showing your score. You have a piece of paper that you're marking things on.
Oh, okay.
I feel like throw the ball is something that
Oh, yeah.
the capybara looks alarmed.
With one of those overhead projectors.
Yeah.
And I know that a speed roll was asked for to bowl properly.
Oh, no.
What makes it
I rolled a
even
mic
better?
roll and rolled a 1.
Yes, which is a free GM intrusion.
Crunch.
This is where the supervillain shows up.
I will grant you this boon, Io. Does Quartz roll too hard, or does Quartz let go at the wrong time, or both?
Both.
That's the best outcome, isn't it? For fun. Yeah.
It is the best outcome for people who are not directly involved in this scenario. Which means everyone in this voice call and the dear listeners at home or wherever they happen to be. It is the best outcome for all of us. Quartz, however, might have a slightly different opinion of current events.
Aww.
If you had let go at the right time, there might in fact be pins that are kindling. If you immediately let go at the wrong time, you may have had the ball, bounce behind you a little bit. There's some people who have that happen every now and then. They may have had a few to drink, but you did both. And there is now 2 holes in the drop ceiling because what goes up must come down. And there is a 3rd hole in the meticulously polished hardwood floor of the bowling lane. The ball is right there.
That was an undesirable outcome. The school is going to get called, isn't it?
Wait, what do you mean the ball is right there?
I mean, it didn't have enough force to go all the way through the floor. So imagine, if you will, you can see half of it rising up out of the floor with the bits of wood at like 45-degree angles, roughly.
Got it.
Yeah. And a shower of splinters slowly raining down over an area of about 15-foot radius. That is a 14 from Trajectory for running actions.
Moving
Trajectory just say cheese.
Xandra and... Sorry?
Did Trajectory just say cheese it?
Trajectory moved Xandra and Phelim and the pizza and the pretzels and the sodas over to the next lane and the scorecard and is suddenly shoving against Quartz.
Quartz will move. Quartz will move.
It's one of those pushing with hands, pushing with back, pushing with shoulder, while Quartz is moving of its own accord.
It's all of these, almost seen as like quick slideshow of seeing Trajectory in all of these positions attempting to move Quartz, alternating between them, possibly randomly, possibly in the same order over and over again. Depends on Trajectory. So the same guy who was at the... Yes?
I just want to say, having spoken to you about this, I'm very glad you had us make these up as actual Cypher characters.
Are you really liking these characters?
I really am.
It is good to be a capybara.
Yeah,
maybe this will be a Halloween episode. He says, still enjoying the Halloween episode GURPS characters. All right. So the guy who was at the front desk, what are these messages coming up on my screen? One's red, one's blue. Oh, reconnected. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Just is sort of there, looking at this lane that clearly has damage to it. There's debris covering several lanes on either side of it, and no one actually actively using this lane. Someone is going to need to make a roll to deceive this individual. And considering what Trajectory did, I'm going to say it should be Trajectory. This is going to be difficulty. Well, okay, well, you just made the roll. let it be known that I was trying to say difficulty 4 while you were rolling the 12.
So that fits the character right away. Yeah.
I am a bit concerned about how well Ellie is stepping into the role of trajectory, saying things faster than I can comprehend, and rolling before I finish asking for the roll.
Oops.
Well played. Well played. So
I provide a valuable service.
he's there, and he's just staring at the ball that's still there, and the debris that's in the lanes on either side. Doesn't look to the left or the right, just stares at it for a while. Long enough for the long bit of ash of his cigarette, which none of you have actually seen him take a pull on it at all. But the long bit of ash that was getting a little bit longer just falls off onto the carpet, join the rest of the ashes there. He sighs and then walks back to the desk.
Oh, before he walks back to the desk, actually, while he is still standing there, before he even sighs, Trajectory has beaten a difficulty 8 to slip again. It's a gutter ball. This is very attention-getting.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to say, if this is beating a difficulty 8, gutter balls are not attention-getting unless they are spectacularly attention-getting. Which is to say, your bowling ball goes across 2 other lanes and gutters
Yeah, I was going to say.
over there. Everyone is seeing this.
Trajectory is face first on the floor again.
Oh no.
3 lanes go.
Quartz offers Trajectory a hand.
Phelim is going to go and be an emotional support capybara next to the poor owner of, or at least manager of the bowling lane who was staring at things. Phelim is,
Geez,
after all,
thank you.
a mascot.
I keep slipping on these floors. I can't. It's the shoes. I can't walk in these shoes. What happened over there?
Hello. Yeah,
Kinetic
Bob.
energy.
It's me. Mm-hmm.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, it happened again. Yeah. Lane 24.
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a photo for the insurance. Good talking with you. By the way, the phone is a rotary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that tracks.
It's already established that they have 2024 outside as a year crossed out because something won't be ready by then. But they still have a rotary phone and no TV showing scores.
Right.
We are
If it works,
seriously.
don't fix it.
Mm-hmm. If it works,
Depending
don't
on
break
what
it.
superpowers are in the town, perhaps you don't want too many electronics.
Also fair.
Yeah.
Also, there's something off with those rotary phones because those don't work anymore.
Oh? Huh.
They've changed the phone system.
Yeah. Mhm.
There are still people who use a rotary phone, but there's something in them that makes the phone effectively counts as a touch tone phone, even if
Touch tone, yeah. They send tones instead of ticks.
Aw.
Yeah. End of an era, but that was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Wozniak has a rotary phone that he turned into a cell phone.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, which is great if he's out to eat and the phone rings and he pulls that thing out. Anyway, so that's where we are right now.
Emotional support capybara will go be emotional support. Silent, not judging. Just find your happy capybara place.
You're doing this for the person who's making the phone call?
Yes.
Give me an intellect roll.
Okay.
This involves
Do I have
noticing
any-
something.
Oh, all right. Do I have anything that's good for noticing? What the heck does initiative do anyway? Go faster?
That's for combat.
Find
For
a way
combat.
under there.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's for combat.
Okay, intellect roll is next to intellect, and there's thingy, and just roll it.
Mm-hmm. Unless you were spending edge. That's where telling you which stat it would be important. With a 9, now you have possibly self-appointed yourself as emotional support. You're not entirely sure this being whom you are attempting to support has emotions. He doesn't seem upset, pleased, angry, sad, bitter, bored. He just is.
Fascinating. Phelim will just be there emotionally supportive, or at least commiserating or something for a little bit, and then wander back for more pizza.
Imagine,
Apparently
if you
their
will,
services are not needed.
a column built to support a great archway there in the desert next to something about Ozymandias.
Look upon my lanes, ye mighty, and despair.
Look upon my lanes, ye mighty, and get a spare.
Oh, that's better.
Yes. I wish I had thought of it.
If
Oh,
you
wow.
had, you'd have an additional XP.
Mhm.
So I almost laughed at my own joke there. Anyway,
Oops. If support is not needed, then the emotional support capybara will return to the pizza.
Hey, how's our guy doing?
Shrug.
Huh.
the GM is trying to look up something right now. That's the reason for the pause,
Okay.
which the GM may have to cut out because acknowledging the pause makes it harder to cut out the pause.
Mm.
Here, I'll help. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry.
How dare you?
You made the crash laugh again.
I mean, it's not that
I
hard.
detect the symptoms.
I was doing so well.
And then
I tried so hard. I got so far.
And in the
And
end,
in the
it
end,
didn't matter.
I got another XP.
Yes. Yes, you did. And we are all better for it. All right. I'm
I
going to
will
give
throw
another.
the ball
Hmm?
very gently.
capybara hunkers down and puts their paws over their eyes.
Jen?
Hmm?
Is Xandra in street clothes? Is Xandra's costume her street clothes?
For this campaign, yes.
Okay.
I am going to say that, with very rare exceptions, students at your boarding school are encouraged to wear clothing that is appropriate for off campus, except when doing some type of active mission. As a way of, it's kind of like work-life balance, but more like balancing school, being student with, you know, ending a doomsday clock or something.
Ah, okay.
Whereas my mental image of trajectory is that she doesn't have street clothes because her costume, because loose clothing can't withstand the speed she runs at.
Oh.
Like, it's this or go naked across campus.
Oh my.
That would break
And
several
everyone
laws.
is yes.
Yes.
Mm.
And can you imagine the chafing of your arms against your torso?
Which is why she wears the costume.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The
So we have
character
one
still
person in the
has the
street
hair
clothes.
flowing freely,
Mhm.
which makes me very amused.
Yes. Well, when she's moving at speed, the hair just blows back.
And so you go around a turn and you take out someone's eye. Anyway,
Yeah, but I can see it coming and turn my head.
so
Yeah, watch out, everybody. Watch out for everybody else. That's all.
I have been told that Quartz was
One
going to make a roll
person-
very slowly.
Yeah.
And then
I was going to
once,
say
yes,
one person in street clothes, one person in a skin tight costume, one person who's a capybara, and one person who is wearing only a puffy jacket because
you are
they
rock.
don't yeah.
You are an animate, somewhat humanoid shaped lump of quartz crystal.
I am Quartz.
Yeah.
So after this roll gets resolved, I will let everyone know what I was rolling as the private GM roll. With a 12, I think that's the best roll yet, or close to it, for bowling anyway. Other rolls have been higher. You don't get a strike, but you do get all the pins now.
It takes
Yay.
more than one roll.
That was not the right voice. Yay. I am doing it correctly.
Good job.
Give me an intellect
Pat,
roll.
when you get back.
This intellect roll involves discerning what you have done.
Better to do it again.
Something like that.
I should make an intellect roll.
Yes.
Okay. I will use a little bit of effort on that.
With a 12, not only did you get all the pins to go down, so you know you were doing it correctly, you know what you were doing differently this time. And so you are more likely to be
Not
able to
throwing.
repeat this. Not throwing. Also, when to let go properly. The GM is a little jealous of your fictional character. More than one competitive bowler has tried to tell the GM what he was doing wrong and what he was doing right. When bowling, none of it has been recognizable to the GM.
Oh dear.
he may as well roll a die to see if he gets a strike or not.
I
Oh,
don't think that's going to knock any pins down.
yeah.
I
The
will
dice
not
are
laugh at
fairly
that.
lightweight.
I am stronger than this. I am stronger than this.
Are you sure?
I mean, dice are really little.
Yeah.
It could be a
they're
very
small
big
pin.
die.
It could be
If
a
you
very
use it-
big die.
You-
Oh, yeah, like one of those big metal dice.
Yeah, like one of those. Or you could make very
But they'd
small
leave
pins.
marks on the...
Oh yeah, bum.
No,
No, you can make
probably.
you make little small pins in regular D20.
The GM was rolling for a GM intrusion. This is going to be for Zandra and one other character. Zandra
Okay.
will get to pick which other character, but let me explain what has happened.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we've lost an EO.
Hey, yeah, can we...
There we go.
There's an EO.
There's an EO. Hi, EO.
Or just crashed for. I mean, no, it didn't crash. It hiccuped, and my computer had to not restart but reopen.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Gotcha.
I'm glad that you corrected yourself because I wasn't involved, but there is another member of the party named Hiccup who is a little upset with you right now.
I thought Hiccup was the character in How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
There are many
But I'm only
hiccups.
realizing that now. But only one burp.
Mm-hmm. So
Who-
far.
Actually, there's only one.
Oh no.
My after school club last year was pretty much, they really liked burp. I had them meet multiple groups from previous campaigns, and they really liked burp.
Ooh, I
Good.
swear to you, if you jump at that, you will go straight into the window.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
While Boo is dealing with a potential GM intrusion of his own. Zandra, here is what is happening.
Okay.
So some police have shown up.
Uh-oh.
They are arriving because there is a report of disturbing the peace and damaging of property, and they don't make a beeline for the party. They make a beeline for somebody who's in the lane next to the damage, but in the other direction that you all were moved to. Well, air quotes here in Quartz's case, but still.
Yes. Okay.
And there's a guy who is perhaps a little rough around the edges. He might be on his third beer of the half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Who they are approaching, and John, what's this we hear about damage being done to our only bowling alley in town? What? No, it wasn't me. Well, who else would be damaging anything? Oh, no, it wasn't looks for the most stand out in a crowd person available. Does not
Oops.
point at the giant made of rock. Instead, points at the girl with purple hair. It was her.
Oh.
She did it. We saw her do that, right? And a few of the people who are bowling with John just sort of nod and agree. Yeah, it was that girl over there. The two cops look over at you, look back at John,
Mm-hmm.
and start walking your way.
Uh-oh. Well.
One of them comes up and says, right, so what's this about damage to the bowling alley?
Oh, it's a pretty old bowling alley. I think they aren't keeping it up very well.
I'm going to say, as you say this, a bit of drop ceiling falls down on the lane that's already destroyed.
Yeah, see? It's, we were starting to play on that one, but then we saw, all that, and it didn't seem safe. So we moved over
And the
here.
bowling ball?
I don't know.
Which is still spinning.
Probably.
Which is still spinning over there, yes.
Slowly rotating in the carnage.
Yeah.
It's actually,
Yeah.
there's some machinery for the ball return that's underneath the hardwood floor, and it's just sort of stuck on that, constantly spinning. The guy with the cigarette has gone over and tried to pick it up several times. He keeps pulling his hands back, going, ow! Ow." Actually, no, that's the wrong type of
Perhaps I could assist
Ow.
with that.
voice. Ow.
Perhaps I could assist with that.
No
Hey,
one
let me.
walks on
They don't
the
like anything.
lanes.
They don't like anything too heavy on the lanes.
Oh,
Here, will you hold these shoes? My boots have better traction, and they're what do you call it? Non-skid, non-marking. I can wear them in the gym.
Who are you directing this to?
Anybody who's around.
Okay. Yeah. I'll help with the shoes.
The cop puts a hand on your wrist as you're reaching for these shoes and says, look, little lady, how about you come down to the station and have a conversation with us about this damage? Maybe give us a
The
few
damage was
statements."
already done. It was already done. Wasn't us.
Yeah, well, we're going to check the security cameras on this.
Okay.
And while we're waiting for that, how about you just answer a few questions? You can tell us what you saw.
The capybara size gets up and goes and taps Zandra on the leg.
Oh, and I look down to see the capybara.
Capybara puts a paw over mouth.
Oh, okay.
Zandra decides, oh, you're saying it's time to eat. That is not canon. I'm not putting those words into your head.
Yeah. I think the capybara is probably telling her not to talk to the police.
That is way more likely than the capybara asking for noms.
Mm-hmm.
Probably,
Yeah.
in this particular setting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After all, you already have
Quartz looks at the rest of the group like they really, really want to do something, and the group can probably guess what.
Oh no, is Quartz thinking of telling the truth?
Yes, this is what Quartz is thinking, and I am offering the rest of the party the opportunity to intervene.
My goodness.
Trajectory returns from the back room and makes a zipping motion across her lips.
Okay.
A small figure wearing a brown robe with glowing, piercing yellow eyes and holding a Reuben sandwich also wants to be completely honest with everyone right now.
Fortunately, no one speaks Jawa.
Well, Trajectory has just beaten a difficulty 9 to move quickly.
Trajectory didn't just beat a difficulty 9, Trajectory rolled a 19.
Yes.
Which is a crit. And as already established in this setting, in this session, means you can be a distraction.
Oh, I'm not being a distraction. I'm running into the back room and using my shock ability, which I paid for, to maybe do something unfriendly to the tape recorder.
Give me an intellect roll. This is
Okay.
to find the equipment that you are attempting to damage.
That's an 11, which means a difficulty 3.
Yeah, you are certain that you have found where all of the equipment is. It's all right here, plugged into that power strip and that power strip and that power strip. It's good that they spread this out between 3 different power strips that are all plugged into that ungrounded power strip.
Oh, well,
Well, it had to be
I can
ungrounded
help them out by
because the
telling
outlet
them-
didn't have a ground. I talked over you, Ellie. What was that?
I can help them out by telling them they need to upgrade their wiring, but really, at this point, well, all right, I'll zap it and just go back out and fine, let's see them deal with that. Also, electromagnetic energy erases videotapes, and I'm pretty sure that's a VCR. It's 2024. I don't know what those look like.
Editor's note, it was not in fact a VCR, it was Betamax.
Oh, but those were
Oh,
actually a
no.
better technology.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
this
it
is
says everyone.
a classic. I feel so bad about this, but not bad enough.
For the record, they don't believe the outlet was ungrounded because the wire from the ground pin that they had cut off of the power strip to make it fit into the outlet did in fact
Was
with
going into a
small-
cup full of earth.
Yes, that was sitting on the desk next to the VCR / Betamax.
No.
It's fine if you're not directly involved. What everyone else sees outside is as the cops continue to try to convince Zandra to just come along quietly to answer a few questions, the lights flicker in a way where you're not entirely sure they were going to come back on again. But they do. The music that's being piped in, which is still somehow from the early 80s, but it's not the good songs from the early 80s. It's the ones that didn't make the top 10. Rick Dees never acknowledged these songs existed.
Yep.
No one gets a
there's that one.
copyright strike for the songs that you've been hearing tonight because no one wants to admit that it's their fault those songs were created. However, all of that hardwiring was right next to the security stuff. And that sounds like whatever tape was playing is melting as it's being played.
Quartz looks at one of the cops and says, "You are supposed to read her Miranda right."
Where the cops do not see, the capybara is flashing thumbs.
Yeah, she under arrest.
There was the capybara's flashing thumbs, which is incredibly hilarious because that would imply that the capybara somewhere has thumbs available.
I mean, the description on my character sheet is lucky explorer who, well, says takes animal shape, but I just want it known. I do want it known that the way that the animal shape is allegedly supposed to work is it only lasts 10 minutes. Phelim has been a capybara this whole time.
Phelim is
right,
a capybara
everyone.
shapeshifter.
Yes.
The past 2 hours of gameplay have been 10 minutes of real life.
No. There was the drive downtown. There was the drive. That has to be
The
more.
bowling alley is actually across the street from the academy.
It was a very quick drive. You slowly pulled out of the school and right across the street.
It's funnier if Phelim is a capybara with shape-changing superpowers.
Yes.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with this assertion. And the thumbs you were flashing are sewn into the little fingerless bowling gloves that you're wearing,
Obviously.
which means
I have a little
they are
paws. I can
they're
fake a thumb.
they are fake capybara thumbs because they're fingerless gloves. So you need to have a fake thumb sticking out of where the fingerless part ends.
Yes, obviously.
They've got
It's
little wires
unclear
in
how
these that are
she's doing.
posable.
It's unclear how they're doing it, but they did that.
You use your shapeshifting ability just so you have thumbs for this event. That's the alternate method.
Yes,
Yes.
I think that's probably what happens. Somehow
Capybara
there are
flashes
thumbs.
thumbs up that are way too human. Briefly. It is the uncanny valley of capybara thumbs. Oh my gosh, Ellie. No, that's Beth. Beth,
That's
you found
Beth.
that. Oh my, it's the whole kid nodding at the computer, then facing the screen, giving a thumbs up thing. Only it's a capybara.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
With a thumb.
Oh my gosh. I love
are
this.
Hey, so is he under arrest? Because Quartz is right. Don't you have to read her rights?
No one's under arrest. We just wanted to ask a few questions.
Oh, like what's your sign? Because it's Aries.
What?
I don't know. I was asking questions. I'm a Virgo. I don't know what Phelim is.
Sorry, I'm a Gemini. They're constantly skeptics about astrology.
Yeah, I don't see much point in it either, but it's useful to know sometimes.
Oh, with this distraction going on, Sandra's gonna just kind of sneak her way out of the bowling alley.
Well, the cop never really let go of your wrist. So how do you get
Okay, so that's
away
a
from
problem.
the cop?
Well, let's see what we can do with combat. One of the things that the
The
character
cop
sheet
is
says-
distracted. The cop is
Yeah.
distracted right now, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there needs to be a role for you to...
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things in her character sheet is a punch that she can do. There's a whole bunch of things in there. A right jab used by one step from accuracy power shift, +6 damage from a strength power shift. Treated as a medium weapon or no need for weapons. So I don't know which one of those I need to...
So
Are you going to punch a cop?
Yep.
in order to sneak away from the cop, you will stealthily punch them.
Yeah. Why not? It's in the character sheet, right? Okay.
Oh boy.
That
why
is an out of context quote. Why not? It's in the character sheet.
It's right there. I got a 17.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
And then I'm going to
Oh,
run.
yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, for the record, I am going to award the XP to Zandra because this was her GM intrusion. Or there.
Yes.
I forget. I didn't ask
There we
before.
go. Yes.
Are they them, or...
Probably they, them.
Okay. With a 17, that is +1 damage.
Okay.
And let's see. Your punch counts as a medium weapon.
Okay.
So that does 4 damage. So you're doing 5 damage to a cop.
Yep.
I'm going to say that they are in fact wearing armor because typical cops, Kevlar vests and stuff like
right,
that.
Right.
Can the cop not the cop, can Xandra control not using power shift?
Sure.
Because if
I mean, you
Xandra is
can try
using
to
the
pull a
power
punch.
shift, that's 10 damage.
I'm trying to find where
Ooh.
power shift is on
That's-
my character sheet. I'm not
It's on skills. It's under the skills heading.
under the skills heading.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
2 power shifts in strength and 2 power shifts in power.
Okay. Let's see, probably not it.
Yeah, you do 3 additional points of damage per shift. So that's plus
Okay.
6. You were going to do 5. Now you're doing 11.
Okay.
Zandra, I have a very important question.
Uh-huh.
Do you want
Oh,
to
no.
murder a cop?
She just wants to get her wrist out of his hand so she can run.
Okay.
And she'll hit with the other hand.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to assume then, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
that you pull your punch because you're fairly sure that you have punched through walls that were built
Right.
tougher than this cop.
Yeah, that. It's like enough so she can get out of there, is what she's thinking.
Okay. Give me a might roll. This is not to do damage. This is to pull your punch. This is going to be difficulty 3.
Okay.
So you
that's,
will need to
the
beat
might roll
a
is
9.
just the okay.
Yeah, you could.
So I
you
hit the
could
little
spend,
dice.
You could spend effort to bring it down, but right now it's
Okay.
difficulty 3. It's a D20.
Okay. D20. And roll. Got a 12.
Okay, with a 12, you successfully do not make this cop meet God,
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
possibly that wall. 23 lanes that way.
Oops.
You don't do those things because you rolled a 12, which beats a 9.
Yes. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but you do manage to shove them out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Their arm is not incredibly long, therefore you are able to shove them further than their arm reaches, so they have let go of you. Otherwise,
Right.
that would have been super awkward. And yes, Beth, never grab a super who panic, or never grab a super who panics and punches.
Yes.
I mean, generally, if a super is a super, they usually have something to do, like run very fast, punch very hard, zap very zappily, telekinesis you know, it's things like that.
Things like that.
I was going to say, I don't tend to panic. However, that wall would have a dent in it by now.
I mean, Sith accountants.
There would be an accounting, yes. You are absolutely correct. But
Oh,
that's
that was your Rand voice.
that was
Yes.
in a galaxy far, far away a long, long time ago.
Yes.
I don't hit very hard, darling. I just make people regret touching me.
That would be the zap, or possibly the mind tricks.
Oh, mind tricks, definitely. You are horrified at what you have done, and you promise never to do it again.
I think what makes us better is there is one member of this conversation who is not part of that campaign, and therefore we are visiting these characters upon Jen with very little context.
Mm-hmm. That's
Sorry,
okay.
Jen.
I don't mind. It's fine.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm just a bad guy.
Or a bad
Right.
girl. Never
But
mind,
you are
never
a
mind. I
people
will.
person.
I'm an excellent girl, darling.
For the record, it's not just that Ellie's character is good with people, it's that the other 2 characters in the campaign are so horrendously bad with people that it makes
Hey,
Ellie's
I
character
have
look even better.
social skills. I have social skills.
You have social skills, and you also believe that cutting someone's arm off is a good first step for negotiations.
Send
No,
my
I
social
don't.
skills. They're over there in the corner covered in dust.
I think
So-
cutting someone's arm off is a good first step when negotiations have broken down.
And
Did
then
I
we
mention
get to
they're
nitpick
Sith?
what broken
Speaking
down
of-
means. And when that
Speaking of
occurs.
negotiations breaking down and social skills failing,
Zandra has pushed a cop and has run out of the bowling alley.
Yes.
So Zandra is getting 1 XP for this, and I'm going to give the other XP to Trajectory, who did the distraction of the zappy zap. Oh, I turned that 2 into a 1. I don't think that's the right math.
Oops.
We're counting up, not down. This is not what I do with the students. We've already discussed that. When you get to 2, you go back the other way. All right. So Zandra has... I'm going to not require a roll for this. You definitely are able to run out of the bowling alley.
Okay.
The guy at the counter goes, no, wait, stop.
I realize I'm wearing the bowling shoes still, so I stop for a second and take them off and then go.
The guy at the counter is in fact holding the shoes that you handed over.
Oh, then I'll go back and grab those and come back out again.
Should we roll initiative?
I
want this to be true. I want this to be, you run out of the bowling alley, you hear, no, wait, stop. And then you realize you're wearing your shoes. You walk back in, hand over your shoes, grab your other shoes, and then run out again.
Yes. Yep.
Are we rolling initiative?
I don't know.
I'm not rolling initiative right now because the recording is already over 2 hours. So I think resolving this more as problem solving than actual combat, especially when you're not encountering anyone who would survive a single attack from you under normal power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phelim just wants to make sure that they have innocently gotten underfoot so that any cop who tries to run after Sandra is going to trip, or anyone else.
Give me a speed task.
Speed task. I have dexterity, so my speed defenses are E.
If you have, hold on, let me take a look at your character.
I have fleet of foot. I can move a short distance part of another action, but
this would be difficult. Well, you were already right there, so that's not going to be a problem.
Okay.
But
I just want to get underfoot.
This would be difficulty 3 if we're not changing anything. However, that's a nat 1.
That's a natural 1.
Yes. So here is what happens. You attempt to get underfoot. I will let you fail forward. You do, in fact, get underfoot. As the cop who was just shoved. Actually, no, it's the cop who wasn't just shoved because they were pushed further away. You get underfoot for the other cop that was there, the partner. And as they try to run after Zandra, you were perhaps perfectly positioned underfoot so that when their right foot moves forward at speed, it is like a superpowered ski lift.
You kick Phelim? You kick Phelim like the football?
I believe the word that could best be used to describe the experience is launched.
Quarth puts a very large hand on a cop's shoulder and says, "They have superpowers. You should allow me to detain them." And then does not wait for an answer before trundling off as if to do this.
With or without the bowling shoes?
Yes, Quartz does take off the bowling shoes. They might be blocking the door at the time.
Well, the desk is right there at the door. So where else would you take them off? It makes sense. They do slip off very easily. I did say they were a bit loose.
Yes, you did.
Phelim, I would like you to make a speed roll because I want to determine if you're able to land in a way that doesn't cause damage to you.
Okay.
This is going to be difficulty 3 because the cops are level 3.
Okay, and
which, by the way,
XP
means
here.
Unless they're statted up, have 9 hit points. And yes, Miss Zap, not Zappy Zap. Although technically, I think more than one of you has Zappy Zap powers. Zandra could have straight up murdered this cop easily,
but she didn't.
To ease.
And we're getting speed rolls from Trajectory, and I do want to talk about those in a little bit. Phelim has rolled a 2, which beats difficulty 0.
But what difficulty do I need to be?
Difficulty 3.
I would like to pay an XP to reroll
Before
a D20 that...
Phelim pays the XP,
Okay.
that 14, which actually beats a difficulty 5, was to catch Phelim.
This sounds good to me.
Give me a might roll. Trajectory.
Okie dokie.
Difficulty 1.
How's the
That's
night?
Well, with a 19, I think I beat it.
Yes, you successfully do damage. You do 3 extra damage to Phelim.
Yay!
That's not true. That is not true. That's not how this is applied. But you do, in fact, manage to catch Phelim in a way, backing up at speed, but then slowing down so that all the momentum is absorbed in a way that doesn't create a sudden stop.
Yes.
Phelim goes.
I am not doing the speedster chunky salsa thing.
You are slowing the momentum. Also, you won't get knocked down by the hurtling capybara.
Yes.
Phelim collapses dramatically in Trajectory's arms, making pathetic meep, meep, meep noises as if tearfully crying.
Congratulations, Trajectory. You are the human equivalent of a fainting couch.
Yes.
Oh.
Hooray.
Also, you are now Phelim's emotional support human for the time being.
Further, Phelim is attempting to guilt trip the person who kicked Phelim. You kicked Phelim like the football. Guilt for cop. Guilt for 1,000 years.
Trajectory sets Phelim down.
I'm going to ask for 2 rolls. One of them is going to be, this involves your ability to block things. So I'm going to say a might roll for Quartz. Again, difficulty 3, unless you can ease it, to block the door for the one cop who was pushed. And for Phelim, you are attempting to be a distraction. This is going to be an intellect roll, difficulty 3, to distract the cop who kicked you with your guilt trip.
Can I argue that this is a might defense roll?
I will allow it.
And that my extreme amount of armor might assist me in blocking a door and not being squeezed past.
Have you ever tried to move a suit of armor through a thing that wasn't the right size for the suit of armor to move through?
No, but I've tried to move a couch through a thing that wasn't the right size to move a couch through.
Pivot. Anyway, yes,
like to spend
you can
2
make
of
both
my
of those
luck
arguments,
points.
Io.
Okay. I would like to spend 2 of my luck. What will that do to my intellect?
I don't tend to use luck, so I don't even know.
It says
What
that I have
are you
one
rolling for?
to be to instill guilt, basically acting roll, I guess.
Quartz. Oh no.
Yeah, that's another nat 1.
It's eased by 3 steps, but it's another GM intrusion.
Beth, I'm sorry. What were you saying? You're rolling
I have
for.
an additional pool called luck, begins with 3
Yes,
points.
no, I get that.
Okay.
I know what luck is. What are you rolling for?
Crash said to roll for being a distraction and instilling guilt into the cop, basically.
Yes, which would be an intellect
Okay,
roll.
so when you spend effort, you can spend your luck instead of your pool for that. So if you want to put a point of effort into intellect, then you spend luck. You spend 3 luck instead of 3 intellect to increase your. No, it's 2 for the first one and 3 for the second one, isn't it?
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
No, you're right.
Spending effort.
Okay, yeah, I was right the first time. You spend 3 luck instead of 3 intellect, and you get your roll is eased by a 1, and you don't have to spend your intellect pool to spend your effort.
But in this case, you'd be better off spending an XP to re-roll that nat 1.
To re-roll, yes,
That's Quartz's nap.
but that's quartz,
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Oh,
spend my effort
and I will.
with to be acting.
Unless Quartz says, no, this is funnier, I will volunteer one of my XP.
I think Quartz technically auto-succeeds the roll, and I want to see what a GM intrusion on a successful roll to block the door looks like.
Okay.
so here's what happens. You are a genuinely helpful person. If someone was attempting to hurt you, you might possibly would move in such a way so that they are less likely to hurt themselves in the process. Because really, why would you try to punch someone with your bare fists? That's not how physics works. So when the cop tries to get past you and you are trying to block the door, you do move backwards a bit when you see them stumble over that carpet that is sort of like balled up a bit right there in front of the door. And in the process, manage to wedge yourself very snugly into this door frame. You have successfully blocked the door. Your attempts to dislodge yourself from the door may in fact not be as successful.
Trajectory looks down at Phelim. You still got the keys?
Phelim undoubtedly has the keys, possibly on a collar. Do they have a small collar with their like name tag and stuff? Yeah, probably. I bet the keys are hooked there.
We're gonna need them.
But also, I think we... Oh, wait, no, you made the roll. You have a 13 there. So, yes.
Yep.
You have successfully distracted the cop who is simultaneously like looking towards the door and saying, no, wait, stop. And then looking back, like not knowing how to react to this because police brutality is a thing that people can remember.
Sprawled, looking pathetic. You have kicked Phelim. You have kicked a capybara, one of the most innocuous, chill creatures on the face of the planet, and it is lying there gazing upon you with this "how could you" expression.
And there
I
are
am
people
absolutely gonna spend 1 XP to re-roll that roll.
yeah, because that's another nat 1 tonight. I will say to paraphrase something that was said in, I think, Community, a show that I have not watched, even though I've been told it's very good. There are people out there who will forgive racism, but not animal cruelty. And react to those individuals as you will, but this cop kicked a capybara who seems to have traveled further than the kick would have actually done, but trajectory was backing up, and that makes the kick look more powerful, even if no damage was done. Physical damage. Mental anguish. You do have a therapist.
Therapist is a capybara.
Therapists have therapists.
True.
Some of them need a therapist.
Guilt.
So trajectory has
cop.
re-rolled and got an 11 this time, which beats difficulty 3. What are you attempting to do with your running action?
Be over by the shoe clerk guy.
Okay.
Just leaning on the counter. Hey, the cops are going to want those tapes, right? You really ought to go check on them.
I guess. Pulls out a little triangular placard that says back in 5 minutes and starts walking off towards the back door to the door to the back machine room area of the bowling alley, which may or may not have some thin trails of smoke coming out of it. It's hard to tell with all the cigarette smoke that's just permanently in here. Let's go back to Xandra. We haven't talked to you for a little while. What's Xandra doing right now? You successfully got out of the bowling alley, and
got out of the
you heard
bowling
a
alley,
crunching
yes.
sound behind you.
Uh-oh. She's going to try to move around cars as quick as she can just to kind of get out of their way if it's a police officer.
Oh, I'm not going to require a roll because you have some situational awareness. You do turn and look when there's a crunching sound as you're walking between cars or running between cars. And you see the back half of your friend Quartz in the doorway.
Oh.
Quartz despondently sort of kicks one of their legs a little bit, but it's not working very well because they're being careful of the floor.
Oh, no.
If you
So is
did
that
this right,
where
you
the
could
sound came
probably
from?
do a Russian dance with kicking of the legs because the door frame is holding you up pretty well.
Okay.
So I talked over you. What was that?
I don't remember. Sorry, I'm starting to lose it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Ellie,
Okay.
you have rolled a 15, which beats difficulty 5 for an intellect roll. What are you attempting to discern or do?
I am attempting to remember. And Trajectory takes out her cell phone. Hey guys, you still got that car?
Yeah, I guess they all have cell phones, right? So,
She's
Yeah.
calling
Who is she calling?
She is calling the other group of students who left the parking garage.
Okay, then I understand.
The person on the other end does not sound like any of the students. It sounds like the headmaster of the school saying, "No, I don't believe they'll be picking up any of their friends this evening."
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, the cops are trying to arrest Sandra for something she didn't do.
Is this trajectory?
Oh, so what would it be?
You hear something that sounds like a tape being rewound, and then your voice being played back on the other end. A little tinny because
60% speed.
More like 50, but yes. Right.
I'm nervous getting back.
You're at the bowling alley? Don't answer that. I see
Yes.
You're at the bowling alley.
Do I want to know why you know that?
No. No, I don't think you really want to know.
All right. Hey, he says, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
The phone hangs up. All right. So I am going to say, in part because the recording is now at 2 hours and 38 minutes. I have had fun for these 2 hours and 38 minutes of recording. But also, it's been 2 hours and 38 minutes of recording.
Yes.
So we are going to do what GMs do all the time. I'm sorry to break immersion, dear listeners, that GMs do this all the time. And speed up the conclusion of this. So Zandra is, what does Zandra do when Zandra turns back and sees that it is, in fact, your good friend Quartz who is making sure the cops are not following?
I could walk over there and try to determine if Quartz is actually stuck.
I will not require a roll. You can see that it's quite possible that Quartz could lift both of their feet into the air and remain where they are.
Okay.
And
So I'll
may
just
in fact
basically
be doing this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'll just kind of like be in the shadows somewhere so I don't get picked up by the cops again and just kind of, wait and see what happens.
Okay.
I think she gets the impression that perhaps both those cops are still stuck in the bowling alley
Well, there would have to be emergency exits somewhere.
somewhere.
But they're
yeah.
definitely not coming through this particular door.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I will
so that's
tell
what she
you,
does.
I will tell the party that on the inside, there is perhaps a significant percentage of the clientele who have now gathered around the cop who thought that Miette was a football.
Yep.
They may, in fact, have gotten Phelim's name wrong. Very wrong.
Right.
That's fine.
By calling them Miette. But that's the
that's
meme, dag nabbit.
That's the
How
meme.
dare you kick Neelix?
And there appears to be a shouting match where the cop is not actually participating in the shouting match, but the shouting match is between people who want to yell at the cop more. They're not directing their anger at each other directly, but they are trying to outdo each other and talk over each other. This cop
Excellent.
probably wishes they were anywhere else. Even that back room, that is a bit more smoke coming out of that back room. That's not just the cigarette smoke.
Oops.
Trajectory is going to drop off everyone's... No, well, hang on a second. Drop off everyone's bowling shoes. Grab, I think, Quartz's ID.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is no one at the desk to stop you?
drop off the $40 tucked inside the bowling shoes and not pick up any shoes because I don't think any of us were wearing shoes that we gave up.
One person was, or they already have their shoes. Yes.
And they already have, Xandra
Yeah.
gave up their shoes and then got them back. So Phelim didn't have shoes. Quartz didn't have shoes. Trajectory kept her boots and just put the shoes on over them. So there aren't any shoes to pick up. So she is going to drop off the bowling shoes and the $40, pick up the ID, and probably not use the pickup truck to knock Quartz out of the doorway.
Oh.
No, you don't.
Hi, Boo.
Oh, boo.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you hear me expressing something loudly away from the microphone, it's going to be socket. If you hear Ellie doing that, it's Boo. If you hear Beth doing that well, that's a bit of a crapshoot.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's about half a dozen cats.
Mhm. Okay.
It feels like there's more sometimes if you are a cat owner,
Yeah.
and if you're not a cat owner, in general. But in any case, flash forward, the headmaster themselves arrives at the bowling alley
Hey, buddy.
with a crew to dislodge
Hey, buddies.
from the door. That is done.
Phelim
While
is,
other
is
individuals,
probably allowing other people to comfort them now and determine whether or not they have been injured by being kicked by the cop. Please
The
do
school
imagine
employees-
the tragic capybara.
the school employees who are involved in this are under strict orders not to comfort the capybara. Some of them are in the back room assessing the damage and how much it will cost to replace. There is at least one person on a phone talking to Bob, who seems to be insisting that the Betamax security system be replaced with another Betamax security system because dagnabbit, that's how he liked it. It had been working for 10 years. Yes, that means that it was purchased 10 years ago in 2014. And dagnabbit, it's still good. Or would be if someone hadn't done whatever they did to it.
You shouldn't buy another one.
Negotiations
vulnerable to me.
are ongoing for that.
Should buy another one. It's vulnerable to me.
It turns out they did have an electronic security system, but there are more superpowers, not just at the school, who can do altering things to electronic devices that actually make them see things that they shouldn't see or not see things that they should see.
So the
Might
reason
also-
Bob has a Betamax is because he almost got fired from his own bowling alley. Well, the
Or
tape
embezzlement.
says I did it.
But yeah, the headmaster has commandeered a side room that's usually used for private parties, birthday parties and the like. There is still some cake icing smeared on the walls in some places because small kids, bowling alley cake.
Yep.
And the four of you are sitting, well, three of you are sitting somewhat uncomfortably on folding chairs. One of you is either standing or sitting on the floor, take your pick, because no one here would ask Quartz to sit in one of these chairs unless the chair needed to be flattened.
Two of
Phelim?
them are sitting in folding chairs.
Phelim is
One of us-
draped tragically.
Oh,
One of them
Get
is
yourself-
standing. One of us is occasionally sitting in the folding chair and otherwise leaning against the wall behind the headmaster doing a hand puppet version of what they're talking about or looking at the window.
and when you are sitting, you're doing that thing where you're shaking one leg a lot so that you
Yeah.
can feel the floor moving from the other side of the room.
There's only one person sitting. Truly.
Or
Yeah.
Yes.
hangs their head.
Aw.
So, misappropriation of school property, theft from another student,
I was going to replace it.
destruction of private property, more than one count of that, in fact, arson.
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 I've seen the fire damage.
No, there wasn't a fire.
Not at the time
There was a
you left,
fire.
but you move very quickly, as we all know. It wasn't just an electrical surge that melted the Betamax. No, it melted because it was on fire.
What's news to me?
I'm sure it is. Aren't I honored to be the one to provide this revelation to you? And lest we forget, punching a cop. Well, I can kind of forgive
Hey,
you.
I didn't do that.
No, that was me.
Yes. Well,
You're not supposed
You
to say that.
also did not break the bowling alley or the door. That was me.
I think I can successfully assert that you are all compliant in one way or another with each other's actions.
Complicit.
The headmaster would have said the right word.
Yes.
Ah,
The player has been, well, the GM has been playing for a little while, and words, what are words? Me talk pretty one day.
Well, listen, think about all the other things we didn't do. We didn't add to the duties of the security officers by walking through their camera focuses. We didn't destroy a school vehicle by putting quartz in the back of a Ferrari. We didn't break anything on our way out. We didn't break any traffic laws. ...
When you say we didn't break anything on our way out, the headmaster just sort of moves his head slightly and his gaze shifts to the wall. But everyone is painfully aware that if that wall was not there, you would see the giant hole where the door frame used to be.
We didn't break anything in the
On our way out of the school.
I'm so glad you clarified that.
And I paid for the rental. And the pizza.
With
And I was going
money
to pay
you
Timpany back.
stole.
I borrowed.
Have you paid it back?
Not yet. You haven't let me yet.
Did you ask permission before you took?
Yes, it's not my fault if you didn't hear me.
You know, that doesn't work unless you have a very high charisma score. And this game only has 3 stats. 4 if you're the capybara.
All right, fine. You got me there.
The 4th wall was in fact the wall that had the door frame that Quartz fell into, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, it looks like I don't have much of a choice in what I'm going to have to do.
the capybara looks tragic. Tragic. They were
You're all assigned to
wounded.
special missions. You start tomorrow. Get some rest.
Oh no, special missions.
Oh, well, if it's
You've
time
all
to
done.
get some-
Anybody here not done special missions before?
None of you has done special missions before.
Nope.
Phelim curls
I will tell
up
you, none of
to
you
get
have
some
heard of
rest.
this. You curl up on the folding chair.
Yes, to get some rest. As bid.
Special missions.
Give me a speed roll. Difficulty 5.
Who is this aimed at?
Me,
This is
probably.
aimed. Yes, this is aimed at the
Okay.
capybara,
Okay.
trying to curl up on a folding chair.
Just
For the same
let me
reason one
check
does not stand on a folding chair.
And
dexterity.
the same.
Does my power shift dexterity work? Also, how about my
dexterity better?
balancing? I get balancing.
Okay, well, it says speed defense, and you could make the argument this would be speed defense. So yes, dexterity would count for this. And balancing makes you trained. So go ahead and hit the die symbol next to balancing and give yourself 2 assets.
To effort to ease assets 2.
Yes. Difficulty 5.
Okay. Difficulty 5. Oh, 17.
Okay. Yes, you successfully do the impossible and curl up on a folding chair.
Come on, feeling we need you to drive.
Are special missions janitorial duty?
Let's just say, if you are fortunate, you will wish that they were.
Goody.
The car is waiting for you. I do recommend you take the emergency exit next to this room's door, rather than that mess out front. 2 news teams have already arrived.
Okay, but who's going to take the truck back?
I have people dealing with that. Just go.
All right.
And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I had a lot of fun tonight. I hope all of you did too.
It's
Okay.
good to be a capybara.
Hey, say hi to Kevin for me.
I will not laugh. I am strong with the Force. The Force is with me. I am strong with the Force. The Force is with me.
That's
And
not
you know
the
what
quote,
else is with me?
technically.
Do you know who else is with me? I have Beth, Ellie, Eo, and Jen. Who would like to plug a thing?
Here's my arm sucks.
At elizabethmccoy.com.
Speaking books.
My website is bookofjen.net. It's got a bunch of stuff on it. I don't update it as often as I used to, but there's stuff there. Some of it's video games, some of it's not. I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, and new episodes generally come out on Saturdays at shatteredsoulstone.com.
And speaking of websites,
Well, you can get all these podcasts at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. You can also follow us on the Fediverse at is.aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel. And if you like these and want to support us financially, because every hobby is a bottomless pit that one tries to fill with money, and I am not the headmaster, so I don't have infinite money to clean up people's mistakes like that. Oh my gosh, the damage you did at this bowling alley. You can go to patreon.com/cogwheelgaming to help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shan Shen, Walter, Liv Droman, and patron emeritus Cindy. And until next time, this is Crash saying, yes, hello. Yes, this is Mo. Yes, that text was correct. You do need to take these kids on. Yes, it's going to be tough for them, I know, but they need to get these energies out. And
It's good, we're cool.
we only had the one bowling alley. Good night, everyone.
There's the 23 lanes.
Moe's School for Gifted Children. Oh my gosh, what a
Oh my. That would be interesting. Yeah.
That's canon
Okay.
now.
Sorry, Beth, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, that's fine. That was perfect.
All right.